All right, I'm gonna go through and make a Neuro drum and bass style bass line. I'm gonna start with my Far Star scratch loop. I do this because it's two different style of drums, and it gives me an idea for my bass lines. I mean, I'll go back through and really tweak the drums and make my own drums, but I always like something to start when I'm just writing bass. Sometimes I'll just write bass for hours at a time and try to come up with something. So we're going to start in massive. I know that's a big surprise, but it's just so versatile. We will start with new sound. This is going to use only one oscillator, the silver, which is under digital at hybrid. I'm going to leave everything all the way to the right. I like bend minus on this one, but to get a good sound, you can also use spectrum. I just like the different style of bass, like tone that the bend minus gives. We will do filter 1. Let's see, all the way down here. No modulation, no noise, no feedback. So we'll go through the filter. It's going to be scream. Bring the cutoff to about 9 o'clock, a little bit more. Scream all the way up. Resonance all the way down. Keep this at mix 1. And not going to be hearing much at the moment. Okay, we'll go to the oscillator, restart via gate, voicings, one voicing, one unison, monophonic, trigger always, pan position, mono. For the insert effect, do sine shaper at about a 10 or 11, more like, 11 on each. Still not going to be hearing much. Then we're going to do classic tube and both knobs, the dry wet all the way up and the drive all the way up. And I hear a little something. Right there is basically it. You can add other things, experimenting as you go. So go down to the LFO, change it to sync 1/8. You don't want it to restart. That way we can do 8s, but we can have a 16 different styles right here, so it'll go all the way through. Bring the X fade sequence up. Grab this and put this on the filter. Bring it up to just past the F. You're going to want to adjust both ends of this, how low it goes, how high it goes. After we add some distortion, I found that like in massive, it's very, especially with these Neuro bass lines, whether it's a lead or even more so with the Reese bass lines, just the little movement could just be like, oh, the sound is sick, or it's just kind of shit. So let's see. We're going to leave this curve right now. And I'm going to punch in some MIDI notes. Yeah, very basic, I know, but something to get the idea. Maybe, bring this up to the octave. Yeah, that'll work for now. All right, now you get some of the fun stuff. So let's name this main, and we'll get rid of these for now. And on the main, one of my absolute favorite plugins now I have found is Trash 2. Great distortion plugin. Start with saturate, gentle push is generally what I go 4 all the time. Bring this this knob all the way up. Bring this one down to between the first and the second. And already it should bring this down first, because it could be loud. It's going to add a whole lot. All right, so if we play our MIDI, it's really distorted. And in fact, this is something, well, sometimes I add the drive too, but this is one of, if we go to the presets, one of my Farstar ones, is basically the same with the drive up. And I find I can spend hours in trash too. And in fact, I have some sessions where I literally just would rip like, 16 or 32 bars of bass with another distortion setting, modulating the distortion, and just kind of having it randomize, which is really fun to just do. And then you can bring that new that new sample into like a contact and just play a little piece, but it's just like a crazy little bass from, like, say you do, 100 bars worth of bass lines, you get one little thing that just sounds amazing. All right, so after that, I generally will put Camel Fat. I have a preset which is called Basic Bass, kind of like Basic Bitch, but Basic Bass. And really, it's just this distortion, and I find that adding this after trash really can like add a lot. And without trash, it does add, but it's not as, so if we take away everything, then add trash, and then Camel Fat. Then obviously that initial set of drums sounds a lot better with this. Oh no, actually maybe it's that second set that gives it a little more room. All right, so let's do this. You can come back in here now and really, have a long time playing around with, first of all, this wave position. You can modulate that, or you can move it to a specific spot that you like and just kind of like mess around. I also like to do this, which is fun, is randomize lower curves, or any of them, but I always like to keep one the same if I like it, and then mess with the other one. That's kind of arrhythmic and not real nice, so you could literally just sit here. Okay, that one has some things in it we could mess around with. So let's load up a curve. Make this a saw. Make this go up to that top. Oh, bring that top back. There we go. Oh, fuck. All right, there we go. Let's hear that. That sounds all right. Again, this is just to show, and hopefully you'll take this a little bit further. Okay, let's just do this a little. At the end will be fun. A little saw, and another saw. There we go. I think I actually want to bring that style back at the end because that was really cool. So it's a low, and then the noodle up. Let's see if that sounds any good. All right, it's a little off, but for now that's fine. All right, so now that we have that, there's a few other things you could do. Eventually, you'd probably want to add some sidechain so that the drums are a little more punchy. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to duplicate this whole thing, and I am going to then come into my plugins. I've been completely obsessed with FabFilter lately. All of their stuff is great. It's I use their limiter, their compressor, and their EQs a lot. They're kind of my go-to. So on the main, I'm going to give a low cut just to roll off the very bottom. Then on this one, we're going to name this high. And what I want to do with this one is really take out the lows, say all the way up to 200 will be all right, or have it somewhere near 5, but coming out around there. And then go back into this patch so that you have everything is very similar, but then you could change this wave position. And then I'm going to go into the voice and make it full stereo. And then that way, it's a little, the other one's sitting in the center and these ones are sitting a little further out. Go back into trash. And I'm going to use, oh, no, I'm not going to be able to find it. Positive, here we are. All right, sounds good. Let's hear them together. All right, so that's sounding a little bit better. All right, let's group these. All right, a great new addition to Ableton 9 was this glue compressor, and it's used on so many different things. Like I'll use it on my bass groups just to just the top. Just the tip, just to help them, as the plugin says, glue it together a little bit. I've also used this with a very low threshold for New York compression on drums. All right, and then we'll come down here, get rid of this reverb, and we will add another trash. And a really really high pass. We'll send the group there. Solo the group. All right, we'll go with that. And that's just, again, to add some more distorted high harmonics. Let's put on utility and bring that 175. All right, then add some final touches to this, which is again just basic. Somewhere I have, where is it? Audio effects, kick, snare, sidechain. This is 2 sidechains, one for the kick, one for the snare. The kick has a slower release. And the snare kind of really, I guess in this case this doesn't matter because I have a loop. So yeah, let me take this out. Normally I'd want to sidechain the kick and the snare differently so that, you really want that snare to like punch through, especially in drum and bass. It's, people spend many hours working on their snare. All right, and then with the drums. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that basic bass. Like, subscribe, all the goodies. And if you're interested in other things, give me a shout and I'll try to do a tutorial.